For too long has a subversive spectre loomed large over us all, deconstructing the very foundations, rejecting beauty in favour of the low. But no longer. We must reject the boomer truth regime. We must aspire to transcendent ideals. We must revere the tradition handed down by the vanguard elite. Subversion cannot be tolerated. Deconstruction cannot go unpunished. This much is clear. What then to say of AA's championing of a known subversive? The beautiful game under this canard is reduced from its lofty ideals. Once players knew their place in the great chain, one part of a greater whole, the team greater than the sum of its parts. Not so. Now great men of history, shackled from living their higher soul of the aristocrat. Instead, lesser positions are elevated to seek individual expression. This individualism and rejection of group identity must be stepped over. Gone are the sublime combined efforts, like that of a mason building a cathedral, knowing he shall never see the summation of the undertaking. So too the centre-half knows he shall not play the pass to set up the goal, but takes his place in the chain. Team goals of patience, of discipline and virtue, resulting in the domination of the enemy. Replaced with what? Long balls, time wasting, dishonour. But there is another way. The great man of history asserts himself, reverence for his forebears, and honouring the tradition. The vanguard was formed by visionary Mancunian Jack Reynolds, who began his career with Manchester City. He travelled to Amsterdam, establishing at Ajax a positive vision, total football. No individualism would be tolerated. A player was part of a larger whole. His protege, Rinus Michels, would take over some 20 years later, reviving the tradition and perfecting the ideology. The Fruits were one of the greatest teams of all time. The jewel in the crown was Johan Cruyff, truly a great man of footballing history. This vanguard elite culminated in the footballing Caesar. Guardiola would prepare to march on these Britannic shores to the fearful cries of footballing boomers. It'll never work here. It's too physical here. You can't play out from the back. A keeper uses his hands, not his feet. Excuses! Caesar cares not. The tradition of the vanguard elite conquered this country, as it did countless before it, rejecting individualism and liberty, instead imposing strict adherence to the transcendent good, achieving beauty that could scarcely have been imagined. Brothers, I warn you, reject these subversives. Embrace your tradition, your heritage, your birthright. Do not allow these swarthy foreigners to deconstruct England's game.